The Beach Boys, giving us many, many great summer hits such as Fun, 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 I Get Around, Good Vibrations, God Only Knows, Wouldn't It Be Nice, and many, many others. Then we have Brian Wilson, alright? This guy, this man, this person has a lot of things going on with himself. He feels the pressure to double up on Pet Sounds after releasing it. He wants to beat the Beatles' asses in songwriting. He just met up with this guy named Van Dyke Parks, and he has a bunch of these songs he wants to record. So what happens when you give a lifelong people pleaser a whole ass fucking session musician crew, a songwriter that went on to create some of the greatest music known to mankind, and I guess unlimited time? Okay. Well, this is one hell of a tale, kids. So get your vegetables and your shortening bread, and I'm gonna tell the tale of Smile, the album that never was. All right. Enough of this nonsense. All right. Let's get to the actual whole point. Smile is an unfinished album devised by Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys and Van Dyke Parks sometime in 1966, between that time and 1967 and 1968. The album was supposed to encapsulate the entire timeline of America up to that point. And to be honest, a lot of people consider it one of the greatest of all time. And they shouldn't be mistaken. It takes a brave man to endure. G, or Our Prayer to G, to heroes and villains, to whatever comes after. And I'll be talking about the album, not about what happened behind it, but why I think it's one of the greatest of all time, citing many of my favorite tracks as well as the track, but we'll get to that later. Starting out with Alright, notice how we're not going to be going in a chronological order, in album tracklist order, and plus it would be extremely hard to do that anyways because there's no definitive track list of Smile. But I'm just going to be talking about a few of my favorite tracks and why I think they contribute to being a part of one of the greatest albums of all time. So this is Vegetables, right? You got this whole album about America, about all the bad stuff going down in America that happened in history, all the good stuff, all the industrialization, everything. And then just smack dab in the middle, you have Vegetables, where Brian Wilson sings about how he loves vegetables. It's pretty silly. I love it, and it's probably one of my favorites. You're probably going to hear something relating to this in the end, but don't get your hopes up. I'm probably too lazy to put it in anyways.
I've been in this town so long that back in the city I've been taken for lost and gone, and unknown for a long, long time.
This is one of the other cuts Van Dyke Parks and Brian Wilson made. This one is about the colonization of America, especially near the Mexican border, and along with the Spanish and quote-unquote Indians, but we probably don't call them Indians anymore, they're Native Americans. So, why do I like this song so much? Oh, I don't know, maybe because it fucking slaps like hell. I prefer the Smile Sessions version over the Smiley Smile version, which is a version I really, really liked for a long time. But I think the Smiley Smile version is just pretty weak. The Smile Sessions version is better. Plus, nothing beats like when that moment where we hear Mike Love say, "You're under arrest," and it's just like the most out of pocket, dumbest bullshit ever. Yeah, Heroes and Villains, pretty good contender for my favorite song of all time.
Light the lamp and fire mellow. Cabin essence, timely hello.
If nothing has convinced you that Smile is the greatest album of all time, then this thing will surely convince you. Cabin Essence, another Van Dyke Parks Brian Wilson tune. I thought it was just about cabins in America, logging industry, whatnot. It's actually about trains expanding across the US and the railroad system and all the native, reservations and stuff they had to tear down for that. It's kind of left field type thing. Anyways, this album has a million different songs that could contend for the greatest ever. I think this one has to be my favorite of all time. Nothing beats Van Dyke and Brian Wilson's songwriting. Nothing beats that. But the melodicism on this and the chord building is just out of this world, man. It just sends me. It just... I can't explain it. The first time I listened to the Smile Sessions, I knew instantly this one had to be my favorite. But nothing compares to the song, the big one, the 15 big one. Do I really have to say anything about Our Prayer? It's a Brian Wilson solo tune, it's a wordless hymn, whatnot. But I think this exemplifies his whole concept of a teenage symphony to God. In the end, this is all his creation, or Van Dyke Park's creation as well, and the Beach Boys too, but who's to argue? A creation of pure human expression and creation. Without Brian's problems, he could have never made the music of his mind. And you're also probably wondering one other thing. Why aren't you talking about Good Vibrations? Buddy, if I talked about Good Vibrations, we'd be here all week. But yeah, that's all my favorite tracks. That's why I think this album's like the greatest of all time. So, yeah.
I'm gonna be round my vegetables. I'm gonna chop down my vegetables. I love you most of all, my favorite vegetable.